Hi Gemini, welcome to your March 2022 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Gemini, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Everything's going to resonate with everybody and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. For your actions and interactions with the world at large over the course of March 2022, can you believe it's March already? Like, what the hell is going on? All right, for your actions and options, you got the Temperance card. All right, so this month, my dear Geminis, it looks like you're really focused on your alignment game, right? It looks like you're really focused on your manifesting game this month as well. In a lot of ways, I feel like some of you, for some of you, this might be literally trying to find that sweet spot, the work-life balance, as they call it. But for some of you, I feel like this is about you checking in with yourself on a spiritual level to really start to ask yourself, how can I maximize the results that I'm getting and how can I increase the abundance that I am attracting? Whether this is an abundance of money, whether it's an abundance of new love, whether it's an abundance of new work, new clients. This, in a lot of ways, I kind of feel like this is you checking in with yourself about what you attract, when and why. The other thing is as well, gonna say, I think this came up in your weekly reading for the same week that I'm reading this now, if that makes sense. My mind just boggled, ignore me. But yeah, I kind of feel like this is one of those times where maybe you're looking at some of the stuff that you do and you're asking, okay, where is it that I'm creating this drama? Where is it that I'm having this challenge because of what I'm aligning myself to or with? For your communications and conversations, you've got the Three of Cups. So this is great, right? You've got a lot more of this lighter energy that's coming back for you. Because it's been a little bit heavy, you know, recently for Geminis. And as such a light sign, you guys tend to really feel this, right? Especially when you can't sort of be your magnanimous self, you know, going here, there and everywhere, being a bit of a Felicia. So I kind of feel like that's coming back this month. Now, in terms of communications, conversations, it looks like you're keeping it light, but it may not be received in the way that you want it, all right? So that's something to watch out for. The other thing is as well, a lot of the conversations that you're having this month really support a lot of your new spiritual goals or your manifesting goals. And I'm using that language because it's the broadest term that most people will understand, but I feel like it's a little bit weightier than that. It's just like maybe there's an influx of new colleagues this week, but maybe for some of you there is a return to, yeah, like there's a return to a time where, you know, it was easier for you to talk about some of the loftier stuff, where it was easier for you to, yeah, just have certain types of conversations around things that you really are starting to realign with. And it does feel like a realignment when it comes to your working energies. For those of you that are working in any capacity, the Three of Cups does suggest bringing back old clients or reconnecting with, or connecting with new clients, but in different sort of ways. But there's a lot of enjoyment here. And also I feel like a lot of you are bringing maybe a more spiritual element to your work. When it comes to those of you that are retired or not working, studying, or, you know, all the other people, that Three of Cups is basically saying this month you should be enjoying yourself, and the interpersonal stuff is starting to come back into scope. For your heart and half, or your love and relations, you've got the World card. That's new communities, right? So for some of you, this is literally you building a new tribe. For some of you, maybe you are considering a new environment with new people. It's kind of like switching out the you know, like in football, I'm not really a football fan, but like in football where they switch out players, or like when you're playing, I don't know, a role play game and you switch out an elf for a mage, or, you know, all of that kind of stuff. This feels for me like a lot of you this month are starting to switch out some of the characters in the story or the book or the movie that is your life. And that world card in your heart and half sector is really seeing you maybe paying attention to the elders, the traditions of your life, or the things that you were held in once before that maybe you've got a little loose on or a little lax on recently for any number of reasons. Now, for those of you that are single, if you're connecting with someone this month, you're having a lot of fun. This is flirty, witty banter, but it's flirty, witty banter that's highbrow. It's not like, you know, the silly sort of jokes. And the reason I say this is anyone that shows up as the world card, there's usually an age gap, and it tends to be around 5 to 10 years, you know, either side. So maybe you're the older person, or maybe they're older than you, but there's a definite age gap here, but there's a meeting of minds, and that's the beauty of it. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, quite frankly, this is a lot of you looking at the area or the environment that you're in. And some of you, it does look like you are gearing up for a move. When it comes to your money and materials, you've got the Judgment card. So this next to the World card, that is a grand clearing of the decks. This is literally a change of home. This is literally a change of environment. For some of you, you could be visiting loved ones in other places. And maybe that triggers within you a feeling of nostalgia. Maybe it triggers some conversation and you think, you know what? It's time, right? So for some of you, this might be deciding to move back to a place. It's not, so wherever those of you that are moving or planning to move, you're not going somewhere new. It may be new to you, in this moment in time, but it's somewhere that you've either lived before or it's a part of your heritage in some way, shape or form. Now, when it comes to your finances, your money and your materials, a lot of you are clearing debts this month. Clearing debts, getting rid of, you know, any bad credit or anything like that. It's like this month you're like, right, we're leveling these scales and we're doing it now. I like this for you because when you clear the scales like that, you invite in all of that fresh abundance. Manifesting game on point. Okay. Sorry, that's just me being a dork. But yeah, like I really, really like this for you. When it comes to health, for some of you, those of you that have had, I'm not a doctor, can't give you medical advice. For some of you that have had maybe, what's the word? Chronic health challenges or issues, this month you could find resolution, but it will likely come through some form of traditional medicine. So this could be where you finally get answers that actually make sense or that actually provide some sort of help. Your first week of the month is the Empress card. Look at that, right? So manifesting abundance for sure, but more importantly, this is you starting to come into really enjoying what you do. For a lot of you, it looks like you're looking into all kinds of I would say folk magic. It looks like a lot of you are delving into that kind of thing. For some of you, this is about your abundance game. For a lot of you, though, this looks like you might be considering a little nip and tuck. You know, maybe some sort of beauty treatment. For a lot of you, it looks like you're really thinking about the aesthetics and the physical self, or maybe even the aesthetics of the work that you do, as well as the internal and the spiritual. It's like you're trying to bring the magical and the mundane together. That's ultimately what we're always trying to do anyway, right? But it looks like a lot of that's happening here in the first week of the month. For your second week of the month, you've got the Tower card with the Three of Cups. Don't be surprised if you, in this second week of the month, I wouldn't be surprised if you ran into an old friend, likely to be an old colleague, somebody that you used to work with, somebody that was maybe a really good friend at work that you lost touch with for any number of reasons. But this could be the rekindling or the restarting of something, or certainly taking you in a direction that starts to open up new doors for you with what you're trying to achieve now. Your third week of the month, as the sun comes into Aries, you have the Death card underneath the World card. Shit. Oh. All right, so... you guys know me. If you've been with me long enough, you know when it's good news, I will give you the good news. When it's challenging, hard news, I will give you the hard news. If you saw the last week of February weekly reading for Gemini, that hit me personally quite hard when I realised who it was that had passed. If any of you cross-watch for Aquarius, you'll know that the week before that reading for Gemini, I put an Aquarius reading out where I foretold death, and I myself heard of 3 deaths, including a very close family friend. I don't ever relish these predictions, but I know what I see in my cards, and when I see it, I have to call it. That's how I was taught from, young, and it's how I will always do the work that I do. If you can't handle that, then this isn't the channel for you, all right? I'm just going to tell you that straight up. I'm not going to pussyfoot around it, right? When it's good news, I'll give it to you. When it's bad news, I'll give it to you. And that is the way that I do what I do. This could be the death of an elderly person, right? The World card always represents persons that are mature, people that are older. Your heart and half sector is literally your familial ties as well as, your intimate ties. You've got the Death card next to the Tower, and you've got it right underneath the World card, and add to that then you've got the Judgment card here as well. That's the signature for a death, and it's one that will happen in the physical plane. Whenever you see the Judgment card in close proximity to the Death card, you're talking about physical death, and I'm really sorry. I truly hope that I'm wrong on that front. Moving on, for the 4th week of the month, you've got the Justice card. This could be a new contract of some kind that you guys are signing. Maybe for some of you, this is new work. Maybe this is a new revenue stream that you finally get started with, or maybe it's a rededication of something that you're already earning money from. And, with that 3 of Cups in the sector that represents your work and your communications, it almost suggests that this kind of happens spontaneously. It's like, as you get your financial ducks in a row, all this new clientele, this new influx of money, or maybe even money-making enterprises show up for you. New moon in Pisces, you've got the gate 55 and abundance. Manifesting abundance. I really feel this for you, right? And this seems to be a kind of a theme in a sense for this Pisces new moon. I think it's going to do some really good stuff for everybody. The gate 55 isn't just about manifesting money or abundance. It's also about trusting. That's why the angel is on the card. It's about trusting that what you need will show up for you when you need it, right? So that new moon is reigniting your faith in some way, shape or form, which is really, really exciting. And here's where this gets really interesting. Temperance is number 14. 1 and 4 gives you 5. Gate 55, 555, baby. And do you know what 3 5s in a tarot spread represents? Determination. Determination to make something happen. Get you. Shut the All right, look at that. The gate 5 and patience. That is insane. I mean... I'm kind of a little bit weirded out now, I'm not going to lie. I love the way that this stuff works. So, the full moon in Virgo is really highlighting to you it's going to show you where you need to get intentional with your personal brand of patience, right? So this card, the message behind the card is the frog on the lily pad will wait until the next meal comes. It doesn't go hopping from one to the other, freaking out. I'm not going to eat. It will just wait. And then there will always be something that comes to them. This full moon is trying to teach you that level of patience, but more importantly, the energy of the full moon is in the sign of Virgo. This is really asking you to get precise about your results and the results that you want, right? So it's highlighting that for you. This is about trusting that the abundance that you need, or the things that you need to make that abundance, will come. This is about having the patience to wait for it once you've called for it and activated that out in the world, which, is a very poignant message. With that as well, so technically it's 4 5s. 4 5s is regularity. which basically means a quickening. This is where things really start to speed up, and the fact that we're in Aries season, it kind of tracks. It's a very interesting reading. With that said, I wish you guys an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.